You keep telling me to make it, yeah, to the spot where we would stay lit, and finish bottles never wasted, yeah, cause that's where I'm from.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of On Campus. I am your host, Myckena Guerrero, and today I am joined with none other, the one and only Coach Scott Stover. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you are entering your 17th season coaching here at Solano. What keeps you coming back?
Are you rubbing in the 17th season, how old I am?
A little bit, no.
You know, it's the biggest thing is when we get into these jobs, and they're kind of golden. You know, there was a coach over in the Sacramento area who said years ago, he goes, our head coaching jobs at junior college in California are golden. There's only 40 of them that are full-time. So when you're able to get one, it's rewarding. But the biggest part is you're doing it to be around the kids. As I got older, it became a little harder because it's less relatable to them. But if you're out there and you want to really push them to get better, you know, work hard in the classroom, and that's rewarding to you, then you're in the right job. And that's why I'm here. And every year, that's the biggest thing: is seeing these guys get better, go out, graduate, get degrees at the 4-year level, and then just even calling me up and just saying thank you. That to me is what keeps me going every year.
Well, you're already almost up to 350 wins. I mean, what makes this program and these teams so successful?
Yeah, you know, it's the kids. You know, the area was really good, rich in talent. There hasn't been as many talented guys, or there's been more kids going off to 4-year schools out of high school. And it's just really finding the right kids. And when we recruit the kids to come in and bring their families in as well, because the parents are supporting them as much as anyone else. So it's finding the right kids who come in, understand what we're trying to do, and that's when we have the longevity. The kids last the 2 years here and go on. If we have a kid who's in our clubhouse, you know, meeting with the parents, and they're really just about playing baseball and don't care about school, we kind of try to shy away from those kids. So to me, that's the secret to our success, is finding the right kids who want to do this for 2 years, get better, and go on to the next level.
Now, what do you look for in an athlete during the recruiting process?
You know, everyone thinks you have to have the 5 tools, that you got to hit for power, hit for average, run, play defense, etc. We're just looking for 1 or 2 tools that we can develop, you know, especially at the junior college level. You know, I was a product of junior college. I wasn't ready to go to a 4-year out of high school. I really barely graduated high school because I just wanted to play baseball, so I wasn't focused on school. You know, junior college taught me to really be prepared for that and work harder in the classroom. So we're trying to find guys who have 1 or 2 tools who want to get better. If they want to get better and they want to work hard in the weight room and they want to work hard in the classroom and they're receptive to getting the help they need on both aspects, that's what we look for, those guys who really want to try to get better. And that's what's been the key to our success early on.
Well, I know that being a student athlete is super important to you. I mean, your graduation rate is like through the roof. But I mean, what do you think what does it mean to be a student athlete? Because I feel like not everyone grasps that concept.
You know, it's funny because when we had an alumni Christmas party, maybe like 2011, after our 2011 season, and a lot of those guys came back, and I told my son as he was coming up through high school and whatnot that I would rather have a group of kids in my course of my 20 plus years who have degrees, work hard, get their college degree, have successful lives, and are productive members of society, good dads, you know, good husbands, then win a bunch of state titles. I'll get my state title, that's going to happen. But I told him that over and over, and he was at the alumni party, and at the end, he's like, I really believe what you said now, you know, because we're not Division I coaches, we're not pro coaches, I've done the pro thing. This level is to develop young men into being men, and hopefully they get to that next level and succeed. And to me, that's the most rewarding. So that's really what it takes for us to feel we're successful. And you see those guys, they come back and they call and they text. When I took the year off last year, I had so many guys, alumni, who were texting me, you know, hoping I'd come back. And when they heard I was coming back, they were wishing me luck the very first game of the year. So that was so rewarding and kind of touched my heart, as much as I can be kind of a hard guy to deal with on the field. That really touched my heart that those guys really cared enough to reach out to me and were glad that I came back.
Well, is there a certain criteria that you hold your athletes to?
Our biggest thing is we make our program based on 2 words: trust and accountability. You know, they need to trust that me and my staff, we're going to go out there and we're going to work hard for them. We're going to make them better on the field. We're going to make them stronger in the weight room, and we're going to make them better students in the classroom. And then we have to be able to trust them that they're going to go and show up every day and work hard on the field, in the weight room, in the classroom. And the accountability is sometimes you're going to fail at doing those things. You may have to, you know, drop a class or take an F for a subject you don't understand. And the accountability is now you have to go to summer school, you know, or if you're struggling in the weight room and not really working as hard, you know, then you might, you know, drop on the depth level right there and maybe not be the guy who's going to start. So there is accountability there, but those are the 2 words that we use to describe our whole program, to make guys understand, look, we're out here to be competitive and make you better. And if you're not able to put in the work, then someone else who's working harder than you, they're going to win that job.
You kind of touched on it. You took a season off. And I know a lot of people were surprised and shocked, and they didn't really know what was going on, but what was happening during that year?
Yeah, I don't ever try to involve my personal life into those kids, not because I'm so secretive, just because I don't want my problems to be their problems. So, I was going through my divorce, and then the biggest reason was my son was playing his last year of college baseball. I would never get that back, so I was able to take that year off, go watch him play. So I got to see him open up at University of Texas, and then go to Minute Maid Park and watch him play there against Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, and Kentucky. Watch him at home against LSU in front of 10,000 people. That's stuff I would never get back. So it was great to go do that, and it was supposed to be 2 years off, but with the divorce, and it kind of happened kind of fast. They asked me if I would come back after 1 year, and I jumped at the chance to do it. And we were behind in recruiting, so we knew we were going to take our licks this year. It was the smallest team I've ever had, with just 18 guys, but we started off slow, and then we got kind of hot a little bit, and then we had some injuries, and we went on that 9-game losing streak. Once we got everyone back, and I just told everybody, look, I don't think we have a chance at playoffs, so let's go out and get better and have fun. And they won 8 straight, and these guys played their tails off. A lot of them played themselves into some good scholarships. So to me, it might be the most rewarding season I've had, just because they were a great group of kids. There wasn't a large number of kids. They played hard, and so for me, it was a good first year back, and we're able to build off that with our recruiting right now. So we're excited for next year as well.
And so you kind of talked about that, the season ending. Who is someone that really stood out to you this season?
Kyle Krebs was the guy I recruited. I remember driving. He had contacted me in 2016, so I drove to Reno to watch him play at the Reno Aces field. Right before we played Folsom, drove to Folsom afterwards the next morning. We recruited him. He came in. He got hurt his January of his freshman year, so we ended up sitting him out. Played last year when I took the year off, and then when I called him, he was the first one I called and said I was coming back. So he had a good fall. We had him pitch, play right, play first. He had to do a lot of different things for us. He struggled early on in the preseason, and then started playing a lot better once conference hit. And then at the end of conference, he just caught fire. So he ended up being second in the league in RBIs and second in saves. And he worked his tail off all summer. So the big thing for him was when he'd struggle, I keep going to him, look, man, we're going to keep running out there because you're a third-year guy, you get it. Struggle's a big part of this game. It's just how you handle it. And he handled it like a man and really kept working hard at it instead of making excuses. And that's why you just see his numbers just flourish down the stretch. So he'll get some good money somewhere. We're just kind of weighing some options for him.
Sometimes you have those guys for 3 years. When sophomore night approaches, what's your mindset, knowing that they're going to go on?
Yeah, it was tough. I even, when we got done with the season last Friday, we met in the clubhouse, and I told the guys, I said, I really wish, especially some of those freshmen last year who were true freshmen, so not Krebs, but some of the other guys, I wish I had them for 2 years. I got to coach Krebs for 2 years and Cameron Michael for 2 years. I wish I had some of those other guys, because if you look at the pitchers who are sophomores, all their numbers are way better this year than they were last year. If I had those guys for 2 years, I think I could have made them a lot better. So I regretted that situation. I knew why I had to sit out, but I even apologized to those guys. I wish I had them for that long, but at least they learned enough right now to go on and take what they learned and move it to that next level. But yeah, that was the biggest thing. I wish I had them longer.
What would you describe your coaching style like?
It's evolved. I think, back in the day, you could yell and scream at guys. I've never grabbed a kid or punched a kid or anything like that, but you could yell at guys and really take it to the limit. You really have to watch what you say. Not so much because of the PC part of it, but just because kids now don't react as well to it. There might be a kid that who's tough, and you maybe have to yell at him more to motivate him, but other kids don't react to that. So I've had to change my philosophy in that sense. And I'm always willing to. I'm willing to change to make the program better and help these kids. And I think this year it was more talking a little calm. But then at times when I realized it seemed like they were kind of really getting tired and lazy, for a couple of games, then I really started yelling and screaming and threatening, but no threats were even pushed on them. That really, I think, just having to evolve throughout the whole situation. I think that's why we went from that 9-game losing streak, granted there's some injuries, to the 8-game winning streak. We just changed our philosophy. Let's just do this, go out, have fun, and just see what happens. So you really have to, I think, to coach at this level for as long as I have, you really have to change your style as it goes on. And it's based on the team you have, too.
Do you think being a coach at the pro level has helped you kind of get these athletes ready for the next level? Because you know the ins and outs of that whole process. Yeah, coach professional baseball, my ex-wife would always say when we were married that was what changed me. So, because I was 30 years old, so I was the youngest professional baseball manager in all of baseball. Granted, it was still independent league, but in all of baseball combined. So I had, I think, 9 guys on the team were older than me. I had 5, 6, 7 former big leaguers. Yeah. And so when guys it's their jobs and their careers. So when you'd have an issue with them and you're getting into verbal arguments back and forth, some almost turned into physical fights. That could never happen at the college level. It would never happen. There, you really had to stand up for yourself, and that's where I learned to get thicker skin. So when I came over here my first few years, I was still kind of like that and realized I don't need to be like that. So you can still coach and mentor and do it in a calm way. The problem is some kids are still so scared of me when I'm trying not to make them scared of me just because of my stature. But I would have to tell them, don't be scared of me. I'm not gonna hurt you. I want to help you.
So don't be afraid to come and ask a question, no matter how dumb you may think it is. There's no dumb questions. They're young kids. And again, I'm the only head coach right now who's gone through this with a kid. So I've been on the other side. I've been in the office at Fresno State and talking to the coaches of Hawaii and Oregon, Kansas State, with my son. So I see the other side of it as well. When it's the coaching standpoint, I have to worry about 30 kids. When you're a parent, you just worry about one. So I see both sides of it, and I understand what everyone's going through. And so no matter whether I think I'm right or wrong, I still respect the other side.
And like when you coach, Tyler, how were you able to find that balance between coach and dad?
Oh, it was tough. It was really tough. We had a rule that we wouldn't talk about baseball at home, and he would keep talking
I feel like
about it.
that was probably super hard.
Yeah, and he would talk about it. I wouldn't want to, and he would talk about it. And then it wasn't anything major. No, we never got in fights, but it just butting heads. And then he'd joke around like, "Hey, what do you think of me hitting leadoff tomorrow?" And he'd never expect that. But it became kind of fun at the end, and it was good. It was fun to see him play. And like his last college at bat was a home run over the clubhouse. So immediately I took him out. So I made that his last college at bat. So I was able to control some of those things. The biggest thing was able to control his injury. So when he was hurt, like I do for all my guys, if they're battling injury, I could baby him, take him out, put him in a certain situation where there's not going to be more stress on that injury. So that was good to have that. And it was fun to go watch him play at the next level as well, too.
Now you have more wins and more conference titles than any coaches around here. I mean, what makes you that next level coach?
Well, right now it makes me old. So, a big part of that is because the guy at Sac City has been there 5 years. Consumas guy's been there 2 years. The Folsom guy's been there 5 years. So the guy at Sierra has been there longer. He was coaching when I was playing, so he's the one that has more career wins than me. One, it means I've been around for a long time. But two, I mean, we've had a lot of success. I mean, I think we've averaged over 20 plus wins every year. The conference titles as well. But the key to coaching, and everyone thinks that these guys are so good at developing guys. Yes, we can all develop guys, but you have to start with talent. So the real key to coaching is recruiting, getting the right kids in here. And for those 5 conference titles in a row, we got the right kids. And then you got kids who wanted to come here, and the TV, the broadcasting here for Solano College Sports Network has been good. Getting the international kids, they see that stuff online, they give us a call. So that's been a big plus for us too. So taking the years off, last year off, hurt me. But what people don't realize, if you look at the years we didn't make playoffs, those were all years my son was playing college baseball. So it was hard for me, and I apologize. I texted players. I apologized to them that I found out later and didn't realize it then. I wasn't giving my all to my guys because I was focusing more on my kid, my family, which is understandable from the family side, but it still hurt our program. So those are the years we weren't winning as much. So now my kids are older. They're all adults. They live on their own. So I'm able to focus everything on this program, still be there for my family, but they don't need me as much. So that's why you're going to see this program go back to the heights and beyond that we were before.
Now, having the sports network, you kind of touched on that a little bit. Has that helped the recruiting process? Like, do you get a lot more calls than probably another community college out there?
It helps us with the out-of-area kids, the in-area kids who do know about it. Some know about it, some don't. The biggest thing is we'll tell them about it, and we'll show them all the towers when they do the walk around, and the first reaction is wow. And so with the video, it's great. Like I was telling Professor Poff, I was able to just go on, take some video and just put it on my phone and send it out to schools, and getting kids scholarships off that alone and send it to recruits. So it is helpful. Like I said, we are the only JC in the state that has this. There's some that do a video or GoPro. I get that. We don't have any of this. So although it's your guys' baby and you guys have worked hard for it, I'm taking credit for it as well.
Now, do you have a favorite memory from coaching here?
I've had some good memories. The first regional appearance at home was fun. Beating DVC in that 3-game series, which every game was on a walk-off or a 1-run game. That was fun too. But the super regional team, I think it was probably the single instant memory was Vic Romero's grand slam against Kenyatta in the regional in 2011. And then we got to host a super regional, which was just shoulder-to-shoulder people. So the crowds were great, the attendance. That whole year in 2011, that team was so great. For one, they were a good group of kids. Two, they were really talented and good students. But also the parents had jobs where they could be there for 2 o'clock games. And it was a running joke. I would walk past the stands before a game and say, don't any of you guys have jobs? But they were all in a position where they could be there and make their work schedules that way. So it was great to have great attendance. And being a centrally located junior college was great. So that to me was my biggest memory, was that year and just that whole super regional run and that team. I mean, when we got eliminated, we lost back-to-back 1-run games to get eliminated on the last day to go to the Final Four, and our guys didn't want to leave. They sat there for hours and wouldn't leave. So I just sat there, and they ran around the outfield and played wiffle ball and joked around and barbecued, and I just sat there the whole time until they wouldn't leave. So that was probably the biggest memory of that 2011 team.
Do you keep in contact with a lot of them still?
Yes, unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, some. Yeah, I mean, every time we get done at the end of the year, I take all the guys' number and I put them on my alumni list. So it's like up to 250 guys. Because when I switched phones, I lost some numbers. So I'll shoot out text going, "Hey guys, want to let you know we're last home game this year. If anyone's around, they want to come. Some people will show up." We had a thing for the clubhouse where guys are going to start buying like clubhouse benches for the players, donating. So we got that going. The alumni stuff, the alumni game, the turnout was great this year. We had to move it around so we couldn't get the TV done in time for it. But no, we're always keeping in touch, and they're always, they'll follow it and say, "Hey, saw you sweat Marin. Great job. That was our rival. Good job sweeping Marin." So it's almost a sense like a 4-year level. We're getting a lot of support from the alumni. We don't ask them for money, although some have really good jobs. Like Trevor Matern graduated from Georgetown and works for Google.
Wow.
Yeah, but we don't ask them for money just because they still got to support their families. But it's the support we get as a junior college is really good from our players.
Well, what do you think makes this program so special?
It's a good question. I mean, I'm not going to say it's just me. I mean, you have the players that come in, the coaches that I've had. I mean, look at my assistant coaches. You had Rob Dyer when I first got here, and now he went up getting his master's degree and has a full-time job, making really good money in Sacramento, has his family. Cody Carroll, one of my more recent ones, got his master's degree. He's out there working full-time in Rockland, has 2 kids. I think it's getting the right staff. Bobby Campo, I mean, that's a guy you should have in the studio if you could ever get him to talk. I mean, that guy's in our Hall of Fame for Solano, the Vallejo Sport Hall of Fame. Hugely successful individual. Doesn't talk about it, but he's out there at 76 years old, donating all his time, doing field work. Can't ever see a kid not bringing lunch that day, so he's always got food in his bag to give him. So having great support like that has been good. Our athletic director this year, since I came back, has been real supportive and helpful. So that was a plus for me. My athletic director in the past, Bob Myers, was really supportive. So having the good support staff of those individuals has been good. This year coming back with the facility was kind of down. I took the summer off, so no one was out there. We had to spend a lot of time working on the field with players. I'm confident the administration will probably come back and fix that for next year. But there was some downside too. But we have people who came in and stepped in and helped us out, and that's the biggest thing. I think that's what makes our program as great as it has been, is just the people.
Well, besides coaching here, last summer you coached in Nebraska. This summer you're going out to Wyoming. How did that get started?
It's funny. I had a former coach of mine who was the head coach at UNLV and then the associate head coach at UNR. He called me and asked if I was interested in doing that. And I talked to Lindsey Meggs, who's the head coach at the University of Washington, and I played for him at Chico State, and about just kind of getting out and doing something different, not leaving JC, but doing something different in the summer. So they recommended I go do that and coach some different level kids out in different parts of the country. So I got in a call, would I be interested in going out to Nebraska? And it was like this time last year. And I had nothing going on, and so I agreed to do it. And it was a blast. I mean, it's so different out there. They have just nothing else going on. So I sent some people like the Twitter, stuff that was posted on that area. NBC, the local affiliate, would cover our stuff. So I did the weather live twice before a game. Yeah, and when I had to leave because they couldn't afford to pay me, they ran out of money. So I agreed to step down to help the organization and come back early. It was breaking news on the local news station. And I remember my mom's got wind of it, and she's like, "This is breaking news." I'm like, "There's nothing out there whatsoever." Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And the Casper team, when we first got off the bus and played them last year, I'm like, "This is where I want to be." It's the biggest city in the whole league, so it's 60, 70,000, which is like the size of Dixon. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. So I'm going to go out there and have some fun coaching this year and be gone for a couple months and kind of clear my head and come back and go do this again.
Do you know any of the athletes that are over there already?
I put the team together. Last year I was not able to, so I only added a few. So this year I'll take some guys with me who are going out to 4 years, some of the sophomores, because I know they're going out to 4 years. Like Alex Clothier lives about 4.5 miles from where we're playing.
Oh.
So yeah, so he'll come out there. Danny Zaldivar is going to come out there too and throw some innings for us. Other than that, we have a catcher. We have guys from Washington State, Oklahoma State, some Division IIs out in the Midwest, NAI school. So it's a good mix of kids. But it's fun for the guys. It's free. It's fully funded.
It's free?
Oh, yeah, they don't pay a dime.
Wow.
It's charter buses. It's hotels. It's a minor league schedule. We go to Canada for a couple, like a week or so. So it's a minor league schedule for 2 months. I thought the bus schedule would be kind of tough for me because a 12-hour bus ride, in the middle of the night is kind of rough. But it was good. I had a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing it this year.
Well, when you get guys from all over the nation, how do you kind of establish that chemistry early on?
Well, my personality is kind of more outgoing. So like last summer it was good. In the summer you're not having to really, I'm not a big yell and scream guy as much as I used to be, but you don't really do that in the summer. So just pulling some of the young guys aside. I had a kid from New Jersey who was built like a little Bo Jackson, and this kid was super athletic and had no idea about different parts of the country. And I just tell him, really pace yourself out here in the Midwest. He was like, "Coach, my host family, they don't lock their doors, they don't lock their car. I'm like, yeah. He goes, we do that in New Jersey. I'm like, yeah, we do that in California.
Yeah.
I go, so just understand it's a different part of the country. So not even the politics and the politics aside, just the way they act around there, and it's so polite and everyone's so nice, and there's like that Southern hospitality in the Midwest. So it's different, but these kids, I love having the kids from all over the country, seeing their, the way they were raised and, their beliefs and whatnot. But baseball's different. It doesn't matter where you're from. I mean, we're all from the Church of Baseball. So it doesn't matter the religion, your background, how much money you had, socioeconomical, doesn't matter. It's just about just going out there and playing, having fun. And you get 30 guys on a bus and, in 100-degree weather, you're going to hear a lot of different stuff come out.
Now, I know academics is super important to you with your athletes, but I know it's really important to you as well. You have 3 degrees. You have
I do,
2
yes.
master's degrees.
Yep.
Can you kind of talk to us a little bit about that?
I guess I'm just super smart. No. Yeah, what happened was you have to have a master's degree to be full-time. And so when I sat out last year, Terry Pearson Bloom, our former softball coach, was our division chair, and she goes, have you checked your pay and see if you maxed out on the pay scale? And I'm like, I don't know what that means. So we went and looked, and I did. So if I wanted to get a raise, which is like a deal for state community colleges, you have to go back to school. So it was like 11 units got me a raise, and 39 took me all the way over to the far right. And my first thought was, okay, the money. But the second thought was, you know what? The science has changed. I'm going to go back and get another degree and do an exercise science with an emphasis in strength and conditioning, and really just kind of see the new science. And I did that, and I loved it. I had so much fun doing it. It wasn't even like school. I was just having fun learning. And even for the summer being on the buses, I mean, I would sit there. It would be a 10-hour bus ride, and I'd be sitting there reading all my material and doing homework and whatnot, and look up, and we're there. I never slept on the bus. I was doing homework and just totally entertained by it. And was able to bring that over and carry it over to our student athletes. And even, 18 months ago, I weighed 340 pounds. So with what I was doing in school, my nutrition classes, I started doing intermittent fasting and changing my diet and learning all those different ways of doing it. And I lost 80 pounds. So I'm telling young kids who are coming in with their baby fat still on there, hey, you can do this. Trust me, because I did it at 47 with a very slow metabolism. So it was a good way to kind of evolve as a teacher, but also make these guys understand there's certain ways to do things now with all the new science. So it's been great. Yeah, it's been awesome.
Well, we talked about how special this program is. Where do you kind of hope to see it in the next few years?
Yeah, I think it's going to be back to where it was, a few years ago, but even better. Again, if you just focus on a state title, you get lost in what you're trying to do. So a lot of the teams who win state titles, we get kids from out of the area. I'm not saying they're doing it illegally, but that's what happens. You get a lot of Division I bounce backs. We don't have a Division I school near us, so it's hard to do that. It's just a matter of getting the right kids. So if I don't get that state title, I'm confident I will. I'm still happy because our guys are going off graduating. I'm coaching college level, Division I level, pro level guys. I mean, look right now. I mean, I got to coach Jared Denning. Brought him in. I didn't coach him last year, but he got drafted by the Orioles, and I still mentored him through academics and getting through everything the whole time when I was off. So I have him playing the Orioles organization. Alvaro Rubalcaba, who might be the best defensive shortstop I've ever coached at any level. He played here, got him a scholarship to Northridge. Now he's playing the Angels organization. So he was in big league camp for a day this year too. So we have guys who are still playing. I think I have 6 other guys playing independently. Dustin Crenshaw, who played for me in 2008, coached for me in 2013. He's still playing professional baseball, but got his college degree. Alvaro got his college degree. So these guys have their degrees and are still playing professional baseball as long as they can. And, they don't have kids, so they don't have to sit there and they're not being deadbeat dads by any means. So go out and play as long as you can and have fun, and then start your life in a different way. So we're going to get back to where we need to be next year. I mean, I'm pretty confident. I already feel like with our recruiting, who we have coming in, who we have coming back, we're already a contender to win the conference again next year.
Can you give us a little sneak peek of who we have coming here?
Yeah, we have we had Nathan Jessel from Napa who came in last year and got hurt, and he was an all-male guy out of Napa High School. So he'll be here. Jack Pridey's brother, Jason, he committed and got a scholarship to Long Beach last year, had an injury, had to come home, so he's coming back now to play for us. So those are 2 key guys for us. Wellington Balsley, who played on my junior team and then moved into Mexico with his family and then came back. He was supposed to play this year, had some personal issues. He had to sit out, so he's going to be back again and be in center. So those guys alone, just coming back on big guys we had before, are going to be key guys for us. With Alex Papard, who was all conference infield for us this year, is coming back. And then with recruits, we got some kids coming in. There's a kid from American Canyon, Eli de Guzman, who's a corner infielder. He's going to replace Bryce, kind of a similar Bryce Berlinski type guy. And then some arms coming in that we really like. Mandrick out of Rodriguez, the guy who committed to us. Some kids from Armio, and we're still working on some Vecca High guys. But and some kids out of the area too. Pinole Valley, we had an outfielder in who was the MVP for their league, who actually lives in Vallejo. Big kind of athletic kid. So we're excited we're going to get that kid and a couple other outfielders. So it's going to be exciting. I wish we did alumni again this year so we could televise and show what we have, but we only do it every other year, so it's kind of tough.
Well, last thing, at the end of all this, what kind of legacy do you hope that you leave, and what do you hope that these athletes get from you when they go into their next chapter?
That's a good question, because if someone was talking to me the other day, and being here 17 years, all the success I've had, being a rep for years, I'm pretty much already going to be in the 3C2A or CCBCA Hall of Fame. I'm pretty confident I'll be in Solano's Hall of Fame. But so I could quit right now and do that. My legacy is going to be for my players. My biggest thing is I want to be able to, when I die, which I hope is way later, but when I die, I want my players who show up to just talk about how I was there for them. Obviously when there's times when you're battling adversity, that's where you show your true character. We've always said that. So I think times that we were at our worst, I want guys to know, he was still there for us, worked hard, made me better. If every kid or any kid, half a kid, some kids, I don't care what number, just said I made them better as a player or a person, that to me is a legacy I want to leave.
Well, thank you so much, and I cannot wait to see what happens this next season.
Thank you.
I'm Myckena Guerrero. Thank you for joining us here on Campus, and we'll see you next time.
The exponential growth from the program from my first year to my third year now, that's what keeps me coming back and keeps me excited and just fulfills me as a person.
It's so impressive, and we every time we walk in here, you guys are doing something different. It's great. It's
nothing but opportunities here, and we have sports to cover, we have the equipment.
Because the more ambitious you are, the more opportunities you'll have.
On-the-job training is huge.
Get the hands-on experience.
When someone asks who can do it, you can raise your hand and say, I can do it. So
Joining the class was the best decision I ever made.
Stand by, we're going to go to cut one. And cut one.
Cross court to Audrey Jones. Audrey for three. It is good! With 1.3 seconds left on the game clock. Audrey Jones with one of the biggest shots.
the sky's the limit, really, with what we can do here.
College just got affordable. Up to 100% of enrollment fees can be reimbursed for first-time college students taking full-time classes. At Solano Community College, we are taking full advantage of this to further your future. With certificate and degree programs in industrial technology, aeronautics, biotechnology, and many others, Solano Community College is a staple for success. For more information, please contact the Financial Aid Office at 707-864-7000.
Welcome to TV 55. In this hands-on class at Solano Community College, you will learn all aspects of television production, how to use high-end cameras, lighting, and audio equipment in the field and right here in the studio. Whether you are looking at making better YouTube videos, educational or promotional segments, or finding your creative passion, enroll today. Get an art school education at the fraction of the cost. Visit us online at solano.edu.
Baseball season is right around the corner and we need your help.
Your hometown Solano Mudcats are looking for host families.
We are currently signing players from all over the nation to play right here in Vacaville, and they need a place to stay. This is a great opportunity to get to know our Mudcats and be a part of our Mudcat team.
Provide a player room and board, and you and your family will have free entry to all home games and a few select events for the team.
For more information, email us at solonomudcats@gmail.com
or visit us at solonomudcats.org.